What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wild Snap, episode 13. I can't believe we are at 13 episodes, guys. I remember when we were at episode 1, and man, how time flies. 13, what's that? Dan Marino, Alex Rodriguez. That's what I think of for 13. Super Bowl.
Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo, maybe the best MLB player ever.
Of all time.
Yeah. Welcome in, everybody. The Wild Snap, a football show sponsored by VLM. Go to buyvlm.com to get the best merchandise possible for any occasion, and it supports a great cause. Toby, Nate, Adam, what is up, guys? Big week coming up. We got a special guest coming in, too. Not exactly a special guest, but kind of a newcomer. So very excited for everybody to see who that's going to be because, you know, they're a ball knower, good friend of ours. I'm not going to spoil who it is. But Nate, Toby, Adam, what's up, guys?
Nate, you wanna take it?
It's Super Bowl week. Let's go, boys.
Big,
Go Birds.
No,
That's what I'm feeling right now.
big
I
day.
still can't see my camera, but
Well, you're good for
I'm
me.
good.
Don't worry.
I know I'm good.
We
We're
see
good.
you, Toby. Don't worry.
We see you. Guys, February 9th, big
As long
day.
as
Wanna know why?
that's good.
Big day, February 9th. You want to know why?
Why is
Yeah.
that?
Why is that?
Cooper DeJean's birthday, of course. Saquon Barkley's birthday. And Drew Shula's birthday. That's right. My birthday is Sunday. Super excited. I think this is the first Super Bowl Sunday my birthday has fell on ever. I believe. I might be wrong. But really excited to talk some ball. We're going till 5:50 today, so let's get into it because it's a packed episode. A big weekend. You know, Media Day was yesterday at Radio Row. Today, they're still going in New Orleans, but the players met with the media yesterday where, you know, Mahomes, the coaches and such. This is probably, correct me if I'm wrong, I have a feeling this is going to be the best Super Bowl we've seen in a long time. I just do. I see, you know, a super team in the Philadelphia Eagles with no weaknesses. I see the best running game in the NFL. I see the best coached offensive line with some big people moving O-linemen. I see 2 stud wide receivers. I see the best running back in the NFL. I see a quarterback that's proven people wrong. I see a violent defensive line, a really young but good secondary, and a linebacker group that's proven everyone wrong. Then I see the Chiefs, and how do you bet against them? All they do is win. It's all they do. If it's a close game, the Chiefs probably win. What have they won? 15 games this year in the regular season? They were 15-2. So, you know, this is a rematch from 2 years ago. But let's be honest, like the Eagles are better this year, and the Chiefs, they're the Chiefs. You know, the Eagles with Vic Fangio brought in, you know, a new Mike linebacker that's really good, you know, really good running back, and it's going to be a great game, guys. It's going to be a great game. Nate, you're the Eagles fan. Fill me in on, you know, thoughts. I remember it was 2 years ago, so we're seniors in college, all of us. Our sophomore year, the Eagles are playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. What were your thoughts then versus your thoughts now?
The thoughts then is it did really feel like our year at the time. The Eagles basically played a perfect game on offense. They maybe made one mistake that hurts fumble and stuff like that. It bites us in the ass. That fumble makes the game be a Chiefs win. If her fumble that ball, we'd probably come out with a win. And that team that year, arguably, is way worse than the current team that we have now. On top of that, just overall, this year, it just feels different. The one thing that year compared to this year is it just felt too easy going into it. Just the success we had winning a Super Bowl in 2016-17. We get back and it just felt way too easy. But now it feels like it's easy because our team is so much better. It just works. Vic Fangio on defense calling the plays. He's a Philly guy. Let's be honest about that. The offense just seems to be meshing. And sorry to bring up Vic Fangio. It didn't really work out in Miami for you, Shula. But he really didn't like the rookies. He plays them in Philadelphia, and they're playing amazing with Kenyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Like, it just feels like our year, and the guys seem like they're locked in. They seem like they have that mentality that 2016-17 Eagles team did when we did beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I remember there being an interview with, like, Alshon Jeffrey. He just didn't even want to answer questions. He wants to stay until the day of the Super Bowl. That seems to be the vibe that the Eagles are on right now. So to be completely honest, I have full faith in the Birds to come out with a W this Sunday.
Yeah,
Boys, are we expecting a lot of points in this game?
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
the question. And we're gonna get into betting later because let's be honest, like who doesn't love betting? It's the Super Bowl is the best thing to bet on because you could bet on anything in the Super Bowl. And I think we'll get into that a little bit. Nate, you brought up Vic Fangio. I mean, yes, he was in Miami last year, and you said, I'm sorry it really didn't work out. I mean, I thought it kind of did. I mean, that defense was really good for the first 10 weeks of the year. Then, Jalen Phillips goes down. Bradley Chubb goes down. Javon Holland goes down. Xavier Howard goes down. So that's 4 starters right there. Then it didn't look like a good unit. But it was a good unit before that. Vic Fangio, you said it. He doesn't like playing rookies, but, I mean, Quinyon Mitchell's a special rookie. Cooper DeJean's a special rookie. There was definitely controversy in Miami last year when he wouldn't play the rookie corner Cam Smith. Cam Smith didn't look great this year, so he might have been right in that regard. So he caught a lot of heat, but I'm definitely happy for him as a man that was going through a little bit of there was a little controversy surrounding him. But yeah, definitely a big addition. Gotta ask, guys, you ever heard the name Mike Martz?
Yeah.
I have actually. I was tuned in last night.
Mike Martz, offensive coordinator, the best offense ever. The 1999 Los Angeles Rams had Orlando Pace. It had Kurt Warner. It had Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, and Marshall Faulk. We talked to Mike Martz yesterday. Absolutely massive. The Bleacher Brothers and the Bleacher Brothers show. It was about 8:40, and he was going through some technical difficulties, but he got in. My man Robbie right here, Mike Martz, said Spags put him in a blender, Drew. I asked Mike Martz, who would you hate game planning against more, Steve Spagnuolo or Vic Fangio? He goes, Steve Spagnuolo, like right away. It's because he's faced Vic Fangio so many times. He's played Vic Fangio so many times, and if you guys remember, a few years ago, everyone tried copying his defense. So Joe Barry was the Packers defensive coordinator. Adam's shaking his head right now. He stunk. I mean, let's be honest. He was not a good defensive coordinator. In Cleveland, they tried copying it. It was not good. Brandon Staley got a head coaching job and tried copying it. It didn't really work out. So there's one guy that can really run Vic's defense, so he's a special guy. But schematic-wise, Martz said he's seen it before and he could beat him. Spagnuolo's a little different. Spagnuolo, and this is where this kind of chess match comes in this game. Like, yeah, the Eagles are probably better on paper, but you're facing Steve Spagnuolo. This guy, he beat the Bills. He brought a blitz on that last play. You guys remember Josh Allen having to throw that thing up? The reason it wasn't picked up was because it's never been shown before. They brought a blitz that, the Bills in film preparation have never seen, a corner blitz in that regard. So, that's a really tough ask for the Eagles and offense coordinator Kellen Moore to kind of go up against. The good thing for him, and Nate's gonna smile when he says this, Mike Martz, he actually really likes the Eagles in this one. He's a guy where, maybe some Vegas line shift if they hear this kind of stuff earlier. He thinks that the Eagles are going to kill the 2 Chiefs offensive tackles. The 2 Chiefs offensive tackles, they've been rough. And, Nate, your guy, Nolan Smith, he kind of had a rough rookie year, but came into his own this year. PFF graded him as a top 30 edge rusher. Tell me a little bit about him and his improvement this year.
I mean, I think the main thing is he's just seen the field like a whole lot more this year. Brandon Graham goes down with an injury. He might be coming back this week. He's been practicing wearing a brace on his elbow because he had a torn tricep. But Nolan Smith was already, after his rookie year, getting labeled as a bust, even though he was a late first-round pick. And we just had a completely loaded defensive line. We had Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis has slimmed down too. So, Jalen Carter's gotten better. So it takes kind of the pressure off of Nolan Smith because he's not one of those guys. He's a little bit undersized for an edge rusher, but he's good with his speed. So when they're double teaming Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis when they're both on the field, and then you have Josh Sweat, who's been one of the most consistent edge rushers on our team for the past however long, 6 years, coming off, you can't cover all 4. So that makes Nolan Smith have these one-on-one matchups. and he's able to beat these offensive tackles with his speed. He's put up so much more production. He's just become a much better player, and I think you can honestly credit that to just our defense overall. We had Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean. I think Dean's out for the Super Bowl, but they're able to give that defensive line a little bit more time to get the pressure because they're covering well. And our secondary, we have Darius Slay playing out of his mind. We have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Cooper DeJean able to cover those slot receivers. Reed Blankenship getting turnovers left and right, and then Kenyon Mitchell, rookie. So just having that full of a defense has really allowed Nolan Smith to be able to get more time, more reps at that edge, and he's been putting up his numbers with all of that. He looks quick, he looks good, and even that, he just follows the runs downfield. He's one of the faster edge rushers I've seen, and I actually like watching him play a lot this year. So,
hey, the Eagles really bought into the Georgia Bulldogs on defense, and guess what? They're actually working out now. What looked like at least two of them probably weren't going to be legit, players in that defense. Nakobe Dean, he had over 120 tackles this year. Nolan Smith had 6.5 sacks, and he creates a lot of pressure. I've always liked him out of college. When he was at Georgia, there was a little injury concern, so he fell in the draft. He always reminded me, ironically, Hassan Reddick, former Eagle, kind of maybe that thinner type. But you know what's always funny to me is you guys watch the Eagles, dude. Nate, you would know this, but what's his name? Nolan Smith lines up like so wide, like they call it the wide 9, but that looks like he's way wider than that 9 gap or whatever gap he's supposed to be. He's like almost like a slot corner in that regard.
He's quick, man, because he can fill that space so quick. He gets off the snap so fast. It's so fun watching him. He's like the speed he has just compared to any of the other defensive ends or just defensive linemen I've seen from being an Eagles fan in my time is insane. We used to have guys like Connor Barwin, crazy name drop right there, coming off. He's slow, but he eats blocks and stuff, but he's not getting in the backfield. Nolan Smith, like within a second or two, if he gets around that lineman, dude, he's within the backfield in like less than half a second. He's so quick.
Great player, and there's a lot of chemistry on that defensive line. They're a violent group. So it's really interesting. Mahomes is up against probably the best defense he's seen all playoffs. That one of the best defenses in the league, and that's the difficulty of it. This is not the same Chiefs offense that won the Super Bowl in 2019 when they had Tyreek Hill and Kelsey was kind of not really figured out as much then, but then last year they still won the Super Bowl throwing to Juju and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Well, they had a few guys. They had Marquise Hollywood Brown, and they had Xavier Worthy. They wanted to get back to the speed. Adam, let's go to you. What are your thoughts on those guys like Xavier Worthy? We watched him in college at Texas. I mean, the dude broke the combine record with his wheels. So it's like
I have a question for Nate. Is the Chiefs' blueprint to success in the Super Bowl taking Saquon out of the game and putting the game in Jalen Hurts' hands? Do you think that's how the Chiefs get it done? Do you trust Jalen Hurts to win you the Super Bowl?
I trust Jalen Hurts. If you've seen like any of the last couple, like all the stats that he's had for like the past couple of playoff runs, yeah, he's had like a bad game against the Bucs. What was that, last year when the Eagles were just abysmal? When he made it to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs last time, he was one of the most efficient quarterbacks ever. The thing about Jalen Hurts is he's not one of those guys that really cares about flashy plays or just like what his stats look like. He cares about winning. And people were doubting him. They're like, oh, Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. I forget what team it was. And right after that, Jalen Hurts throws for about like 2 touchdowns, throws for over 230 yards. Like if he wants to take it out of Saquon Barkley's hands, which respectfully, I don't think the Chiefs can do that. I have complete faith that Jalen Hurts can do it. Not only that, our offensive line is the best in the league. I think anyone can agree on that. You can put Mekhi Becton, a 390-pounder, slim him down and throw him at right guard, and he's getting to the second level on runs. He's just playing amazing. But then you have weapons. You have Dallas Goedert, who's back from injury, a key part of our offense who we were missing. And then you have respectfully a top 3 receiving core in the NFL with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. It's just you can shut down the run, and the Eagles are going to beat you pretty much anywhere else if they want to. And Jalen Hurts is great at just like the option plays, RPOs, anything like that. He's one of the best at running it in the league. So if they want to take it out of Saquon Barkley's hands, feel free, because Jalen Hurts can beat them on the ground himself or beat them in the air.
I'm glad we're on this topic because we were just talking Chiefs. We were just talking that Eagles defense and how we think that maybe the Chiefs can find success there.
I don't think the Chiefs defense is good against the run.
Here's the thing. Chiefs
Nobody's good against Saquon.
We talked about how great those blitzes they can bring with Steve Spagnuolo. Yeah, they have their hands really caught in a bind here this game because they're facing the best rushing attack in the league. This Chris Jones is special. There are not many big men that could do what he does. The question is, how do the Eagles neutralize him? Do they double him every play? That's the real question. It's a tough scenario because there's other guys on that D-line that are pretty good too. George Karlaftis is a good player, former first-round pick. And then obviously they got a guy like Nick Bolton at linebacker, or one of their nickel corners can be sent on the blitz. So there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot that Spags tries to bring. Here's how the Eagles could win. Mike Martz talking. You face those crazy blitzing teams, the ones that give different looks. You got to run them out of it. So the Eagles are that team that have that rushing attack to control clock. They're able to run it a little more. They're able to do such so that, eventually you break off a big one. So Saquon probably breaks off a big run in this game. We're going to talk betting later, but if his longest run prop is 36.5, I bet he breaks that realistically against a front like this. That's how the Eagles win. They know that. So, we were talking Hurts. What Martz said about him is that he has one of the greatest advantages in the league, where that with that rushing attack, defenses need to fill more guys in the box because you got to stop the run first. So usually they'll move, teams that typically play a 2 high, they'll move to a single high safety, so they have an extra guy in the box. With that, you're very unlikely to play different coverages, so you're probably going to play a little more man coverage. And we've seen he's gotten really good at that back shoulder ball to A.J. Brown. He'll throw like a little go ball, make it a little back shoulder, and A.J. Brown, obviously, he's going to adjust and catch it. It's A.J. Brown. So that's where, Jalen Hurts, they make his life a little easier in that regard because he doesn't face as many crazy coverages. He's just got to find the right guy and throw the right ball. So, the Eagles, they need to start hot in this one. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that, but I honestly prefer the ball first if I'm the Eagles. If you go down, you don't want to make this a shootout. You want to be able to run the ball. That's where you win. So I want the ball first. I want to run it down the Chiefs' throat. You mix in those RPOs that they're so good at doing. You mix in maybe a play action shot at least once there, and you mix in the read option that he's so good at. And then you got your two stud receivers if needed to throw the ball downfield. What are your guys' thoughts on how? Do you guys think the Eagles need to start with the ball, start fast, or what do you guys prefer for them? It doesn't really matter in your opinion.
I don't
think it really matters, but I think if they can get Kansas City's linebackers in space early and make their linebackers, I don't really think the Chiefs linebackers can play in space, and I think that's where the Eagles are gonna pick them apart. Honestly,
Leo Chenal, Wisconsin guy, he's been
he's
a
linebacker.
Thumper.
He's a thumper.
They are thumping downfield linebackers. Bolton can move a little bit, but that's the Chiefs game right there. One thing to watch.
That's how I think they take Saquon out of the game, is because they are very good downhill.
You got to commit numbers, and Chris Jones has to have the game of his life. Nate, do you trust the Eagles' offensive? Let's say the attack point for the Chiefs' D-line is attack Mekhi Becton. We know that him and Cam Jurgens, while great players, not the greatest in pass protection. Do you think that's where Chris Jones and the Chiefs' defense goes?
No, because you're looking at an offensive line where it's like Lane Johnson might not have been selected to, I don't know if it was the All-Pro or Pro Bowl. Respectfully, he played a better season than Penei Sewell. And then you have Jordan Mailata, who's the highest graded, not only left tackle, but tackle in the league by PFF. Those guys are fine taking on single men. And then you have Landon Dickerson, who's a top 3 left guard in the league. Mekhi Becton just takes up space. And Cam Jurgens, who is basically the new coming of Jason Kelsey. Yeah, Chris Jones, I'm not going to disrespect him. He is probably the best defensive tackle in the league. But our offensive line is just so stacked. And then you have Stoutland getting 2 weeks to prepare against him. The Eagles lost by 3 points to the Chiefs in the last Super Bowl. And the last time they met, they won 21-17. So I think we've already prepared against them. Not only that, with a better team, I don't think it's an issue. But I kind of wanted to go back to a point you brought up earlier about you want the Eagles to start with the ball. I don't know if that's the case because although we were 2-2 and then we have went basically undefeated, losing one game since, the Eagles this year have had a very hard time waking up in the first quarter. They come out the first quarter and it's like they're not even playing football sometimes. It's gotten a little bit better in the playoffs. So maybe it is good to start with the ball just to get that first or second drive out of the way, feel out the Chiefs defense and then get it going. But that's one of the main things. I think the Eagles need to show up and be prepared the second it starts because it is a Super Bowl. If you give Mahomes like that motivation or just like that hype to your defense is making stops to go out there and put up points, Mahomes is going to make you regret it. So you can't be doing that in the Super Bowl. So I think that's like the biggest thing. The Eagles show that they're awake in that first half, that first drive they get Saquon, a couple of rushes, get a couple of first downs, maybe throw a slant or two to Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. I think it should be a high scoring game in the Eagles' favor.
It's definitely a fair point. You got to think about that too. Imagine, we've seen it before actually, where Jalen Hurts fumbled, he got strip sacked and fumbled, and then Chiefs scored a big touchdown there. Mm-hmm. Definitely a fair point. And my one last thing with Martz, I hate to keep bringing it up, but yeah, it's like he thinks that how do you beat the Chiefs in a close game because no one does it. Well, the Eagles have the ability to. You got to hold the ball the last 5 to 6 minutes. You give Mahomes a chance. Everyone says the refs. People, they don't like when you say that, but they usually do have an edge in that regard. Dude, the Eagles have the ability to 3-yard rush, 6-yard rush, 4-yard rush, 3-yard rush, 2-yard rush. Oh wait, it's 3rd and 1. Tush push. Oh wait, you're a half inch away. Oh wait, tush push. Okay, 3-yard rush. Okay, Jalen Hurts read option. They have the ability to do that. That's how you beat Mahomes. That's how you beat the Chiefs in this game. So ironically, coming into this show and coming into yesterday before I did the interview, I'm thinking, dude, the Chiefs are gonna win. The Chiefs are gonna win. I mean, it's the Chiefs. You can't bet against Mahomes. He's gonna be better than Brady when it comes to Super Bowl rings. I don't know. I kind of second guessed my thought last night. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but I kind of second guessed myself a little bit because the smartest NFL coaches in the world think that the Eagles they might win the game. So, which is why I think this is going to be the greatest Super Bowl ever. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
I feel like there was a lot of people who were saying that the Bills, like they were talking about the Bills like this, like they had a big shot at beating the Chiefs, and me and you, Drew, both kind of knew deep down that wasn't happening. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of second guessing myself too, where I've been all on the Chiefs wagon this whole time, just because even if they do end up losing, that's still good for me because I don't like the Chiefs. I don't want to see them win. So if I say they're going to win and they end up losing, that's good for me. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really. It's tough. I feel like we saw this like same thing with the Bills being said, and then a lot of people went the Bills' direction. I don't know if I'm really willing to do the same thing for this game, just because the Eagles, in my opinion, are a better team. I don't know, but what you guys think about that?
It's a tough
scenario. What do you guys think the hungrier team is? The Chiefs trying to three-peat or the Eagles trying to get revenge for what happened 2 years ago?
Eagles. I don't know. This Chiefs team does not seem like the Chiefs team that. So, 2019, it was that Mahomes special year. He wins his first Super Bowl. I thought they'd beat the Niners. He does it. I felt like they had that hunger that year. The next year, they lose to the Bucks. Okay, well, the next year he comes back and he wins the Super Bowl. Well, no, that was Bengals. That was Cincinnati Bengals. The year after, so he misses the Super Bowl, losing to Joe Burrow, comes back. He has a revenge game there. I don't see any game where he needs to get back in this one. The games they lost in the regular season didn't matter. It was the Broncos and I don't even remember who the other team they lost to in the regular season, but they're done. I mean, it wasn't the Eagles. So, it's like I don't really see like they don't have anything to prove in this one. The Chiefs, people are like, okay, well they're not the same team. Well, who cares? Like they don't actually have anything to prove in this one. While the Eagles, it's like, can Jalen Hurts get over the hump? Can Nick Sirianni be a Super Bowl winning head coach? You know, Vic Fangio, you know, he's had questions in the past regarding can his team make the big stop? Like, so it's like I feel like they do have stuff to prove, and it's like Saquon Barkley, you're the best player in the league right now. You have something to prove. You know, you finally get off the Giants, and it's like you have a chance now, and he's been hungry. So I feel like these players, I definitely think the Eagles players are way more hungry, in my opinion.
I think that there's just like one big question mark that all of us just haven't even mentioned yet, and it's not even like Eagles versus Chiefs. It's Eagles versus the refs again. Sorry to bring this up, but let's flash back 2 years ago to Juju Smith-Schuster uncatchable ball in the end zone. Oh, holding flag gets thrown down on James Bradberry, who is also another key factor. James Bradberry will probably not see a minute of playing time this game, which is huge because he sucks. So he's not going to be on the field, which is huge. But you can say it was a hold or wasn't. Ball was nowhere near Juju Smith-Schuster, completely wherever. Eagles were going to win that game, or we would at least have had a chance. But no, the Chiefs get to run off another 2 minutes clock, and the Eagles have 8 seconds, and Jalen Hurts throws a 20-yard, whatever that ball was. Like, that's just how the game ends. The Eagles have to go up against not only the Chiefs. Brady was always getting calls, and Mahomes is just the new era of that franchise quarterback, top of the league. And it looks better for the NFL with Taylor Swift sitting in the stands with dad bod Travis Kelce after the game. That's going to make them millions of dollars.
It's a good player right there.
He is, but he actually, in my opinion, has not been playing great at all this past season. The second he started getting with Taylor Swift, I don't know if she isn't treating him right in bed or something, but he hasn't been the same he was before that. But I just think that that's a huge factor. Like, can the Eagles stay disciplined this entire game? Like, if they're not, then it's going to bite them in the ass because the Chiefs have gotten calls like that in the past. All the playoffs, the whole season, they've been saying stuff about that. So
I think that is interesting, that last point. I do think the Chiefs are the more disciplined team. So if it does come down to penalty yardage and stuff like that, I think it will go in the Chiefs' favor.
I don't want to call.
We know Kansas City's going to get something crazy.
They are.
They're going to get Stoney Hall at the end of the game. So let's not try and act surprised when it happens.
Guys, big news. We got in our last a little over 15 minutes. Guys, there's someone added to the Wild Snap, a football show. Colton Keller, everybody, joining us from ESPN West Palm. Colton, how's it going, man? You're on mute right now, so.
What's going on, boys? What's going on? Just getting the Wi-Fi figured out. How we doing?
What's up? What's up, Colton?
Everyone, if you guys don't know Colton,
doing good.
Related to Colton, who are you related to? A little fun fact for everyone.
Charlie Keller, little ex World Series winner for the New York Yankees.
There we
Got
go.
in the blood. Not a baseball player myself.
Legend Charlie Keller.
Colton, how much do you take after him? That's what I have to ask.
Not much. I quit baseball about 6th grade. I don't have that. Don't really have that in me, unfortunately, but we try.
You know, you're always his least favorite grandson, then, right?
Oh, I had to have been.
Right? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But now we got all 5 of us here right now. We got to get into because we got a few more things to talk about. I want one prop bet from everyone. One prop bet you like. It could be anything. Could be coin flip. Could be both quarterbacks complete their first pass. That's something I used to like to bet. Could be the over. Could be the under. Could be neither. Could be a money line. Whatever you like. I want one thing right now. Why don't we start with Adam? You know, he has his own segment, his own parlay of the day. We're gonna get to that later. But Adam, let's start with you.
I already told you guys prior to the show. I kind of got some mixed opinions about it, but I'm going no touchback on the opening kickoff plus 230. I think both teams are going to want to set the tone, so they're not going to kneel it. And a kickoff out of bounds counts as no touchback too. So
you think there's a possibility they could get out of bounds, or
no? I'm just saying.
Watch Harrison Butker just boot that thing to the 3rd row of the end zone.
I'll be electric if that happens.
That's a touchback.
No, if he kicks out of bounds, it's not
Out of the end zone.
Out of the end zone.
Oh, you're saying out of the end zone? Oh, I won't be electric if he kicks out of the end zone.
Hopefully he doesn't though.
I
Hey,
thought you were talking about like he was gonna have nerves and like shank it out of bounds. See, like that's what I'm hoping for.
with
But
the
no,
That would be
new
electric.
with
if
the
they
new
kick it into the landing zone, either team is running it out.
with the new rules, it's actually advantageous to keep it in because you put him on the 30 now if you kick it out. But plus 230, quite a pull from Adam right there. Toby, give me something.
I don't have that kind of value on this pick, but for reasons you kind of mentioned before, Drew, I'm all in on this one. It's a special day. Not only is it your birthday, but it's also Cooper DeJean's birthday.
It is.
So give me the over 4.5 tackles and assists. Drew, earlier this season, I was just tailing Ivan Pace tackles and assists. I love going to these props. Got no numbers to back it up, really. It's just his birthday. It's the Super Bowl. He's going to be playing like a dog. Give me the over.
I like
Love
it.
that.
Colton, fill us in.
Oh, I'm going with Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown at minus
You are a
165.
jerk because you stole mine. You're a
Listen, I
jerk.
could be
Hey,
wrong
bro, that
about
was
this.
the game.
Could be wrong about this, but last time they matched up, he had 3 rushing touchdowns, if I remember correctly. I feel like at 165, that's very good value for this, and it's going to happen. It's definitely going to
Anytime
happen.
you said anytime rushing, right?
Yep, anytime rushing.
Red Russian.
And what's the value on that? So I have it.
I got it out minus 165. It's probably different on better
It's
books.
I got better odds than that. You need a new book then because I got it at 115 somewhere, but I'll find something new.
We're on
Nate,
flip,
Do
baby.
we have odds on Hurts to get a receiving touchdown?
you'd have to be a sicko to bet that.
Philly
They're
special
definitely
2.0.
Nick Foles?
Philly special
Receiving
2.0 is fun. Nate, what
I'm
are
trying
we
to look.
thinking, man?
I actually have a 6-leg parlay already cooked up, and I have an actual fun prop bet. My fun prop bet is longest field goal over 55 yards. Jake Elliott is lethal he can't kick an extra point to save his life. But can he hit a 61-yarder in freezing cold wind against the New York Giants? Oh, yes, he can. It's all he's good at. If you guys would like to hear my 6-legger, by the way, on Eagles games I've bet this year, I have been 5 for 5 in all of my
You need
parlays.
to be on the Bleacher Bet show.
Let me hear
Wow.
this.
The 6-leg parlay consists of Saquon Barkley over 110.5 rushing yards, with Saquon Barkley longest rush over 23.5 yards, Saquon anytime touchdown, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown, Isaiah Pacheco over 22.5 yards. I know they've been going to Kareem Hunt recently. They're going to be going to both of them, and Pacheco is bound to get over 22 yards. It's just how I see the game going. And the one I'm really, really scared about is A.J. Brown over 5.5 receptions. But I can see them having a late, 2-minute drill and A.J. Brown catching 2 or 3 at the end of the game, slants or just out routes to get those couple of first downs. So that's my 6-legger. I put $5 on it, and it's cashing out to $78. So
Ironically, my
I
other
like
bet
that,
is going to be Saquon's over on rushing yards. So I got both of mine stolen, but it's fine. I'm going to keep it simple. I like the over of 49. There's a lot of defensive talk, and to be fair, understand it. I understand it's 2 great defensive minds, 2 great defenses that are good enough to win a championship. I just got a feeling over 49 points. These teams have had forever to game plan. I feel like when you got 2 weeks to game plan, it's a little tougher on the defense, in my opinion. I do think it is a little tougher. I could totally see a guy like Xavier Worthy catching, taking a end around to the house from 60 yards out. He's got the speed to do that. We've got the A.J. Browns that are good enough to moss someone 50-yard downfield. We've got the Saquon Barkley's good. It's too much explosiveness for me to take the under. I don't feel good with it, so I'm going to take the over. There's
I
our
would
bet.
also like to mention something, Shula. I forget what player it was. It was a defensive player on the Chiefs. I think they were in the secondary. They literally had an interview. This is a big thing, I think, after the Bills game, where it's Josh Allen always goes to the right on QB sneaks, and they full on committed with that. And the thing about Jalen Hurts is he actually read the defense better than Josh Allen, in my opinion. So if the Chiefs overcommit like that, I can see Eagles picking up some big time yards with just him breaking down the defense. Just wanted to throw that in there as well.
He's a smart player. A lot of people don't mention that, and he typically makes great decisions. So we're going to see. I do think the over 49 hits. But, guys, let's talk Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, he's been longtime Cleveland Brown, number 1 overall pick, 2017. He requests out of Cleveland. You cannot blame him. You ever been to Ohio? Exactly. And not only that, crappy football. I mean, I think ironic. He does have a playoff win, but not much after that. Ironically, what's crazy? He says, "I want to go to a contender." You know who the favorite to land him is?
Your fans.
Eagles.
The Dallas Cowboys at plus
Really?
400. We're gonna make this quick because we don't have much more time. But guys, Adam, we'll start with you. One team you think he's gonna go to and why?
Oof. I don't know. For some reason on X, I forgot. It was like 2 days ago or maybe yesterday. I forget the day, but it was recently. I saw like a bunch of rumors to the Chargers. I didn't really look into that, but like
I've
on
seen
X,
those
I was
too.
seeing Garrett to the Chargers. So
They got
I've
old
seen
at church. I could see that. Toby, what we thinking? Please don't steal mine.
Well, I hope I don't steal yours now. I really like the Commanders for Myles Garrett. I feel like this is a team that's going to be playing for a ring, obviously, for a long time with Jaden Daniels. You give them a big difference maker on the defensive side here, and then they've got guys in the secondary like Sanders still. I think it just really brings the team together as a whole. Like I said, they'll be contending for a long time. So if he wants to go to a contender, I don't see a better one for him to go to.
Fair enough. Colton, what we thinking?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you boys. I was going to go with the Commanders as well, but I also saw some talk about the 49ers. I don't think that is an outlandish take at all. Their defense is already absolutely stacked. You get a guy like Myles Garrett out there, Super Bowl contender immediately. I think it could happen, but at the end of the day, I do think he's going to be staying with the Browns. You draft a quarterback, you get a little hope back, so we'll see.
We'll see. Right now it looks like Abdul Carter is going to go to the Browns. But then again, draft season's crazy. We're still months away. Watch out for the 49ers next year. That's all I'm going to say. When they're fully healthy, watch out for them. We've seen them before. Nate, what we think?
I mean, you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but Eagles have the best GM in the league. Myles Garrett is going to be a bird. Bryce Hoff will be gone, and our first-round pick will be gone as well. But we will be getting Myles Garrett to complete our defensive line. And Brendan Graham's gone, so we need a replacement. So
I like it.
and Josh What's leaving.
Ironically, that was my second choice, but that's the most Howie Roseman move ever. We've seen it before. We've seen it. A.J. Brown. Who would have thought he was going to get traded to the Eagles? We've seen it.
No one.
So I could totally see something like that happen. Do they want to give up the capital for him? Maybe. I mean, we'll see what happens on Sunday. Maybe, a win or maybe a loss. Maybe that kind of affects it. But one team, I saw him in the middle. I was like, there's no way these guys are in the middle because I got a feeling it could happen. The Detroit Lions. Everyone's writing them off. They're still a good team, man. They're still a good team, And I just think one thing that was missing from that Lions team, you need a guy next to Aiden Hutchinson. You need a guy across from him. Imagine Myles Garrett and Aiden Hutchinson. Their defense was all right. It was pretty good. They'd have some big games, but they weren't special by any regard. You had a guy like Myles Garrett. Now that's a special tandem right there. I think that can create a level of violence that Dan Campbell really wants. So give me the Lions in that regard. Let's see. We got a comment. Looks like Myles Garrett is going to the Rams is what I'm thinking. They have 11 draft picks. Hey, and Cooper Kupp. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, they really want to get rid of Cooper Kupp. So if they wanted to attack this situation head on, I think that'd be good. But I don't think that the Rams are in any position just to they're kind of young aside from Matt Stafford. I don't think that they want to give up draft capital. They've been hitting on some of their draft picks too. I think they like to keep their picks.
I like it.
Yeah. I don't think Cooper Kupp's very valuable either in a trade right now.
Yeah, no, I think Kupp's like the DeAndre Hopkins right now, when he was going to the Titans.
Yeah.
We know he's getting old. He's got 2 years left max, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about that. Adam, my favorite part of the show. Unfortunately, we don't got the music today, but I'm going to roll the tape.
in today. Let's go.
Adam. Last week, unfortunately, very rare, but unfortunately, it was a slight miss.
By one leg, right?
One leg. But you know what, Adam, if you guys don't know Adam Hoff, he gives out winners big time. Like, this dude gives out winners all the time, and usually it's like a Louisville money line. They're favored by 3, and then they win by 30. I think Adam's just on it. That's the Adam I know. Adam, I want to know who it is because I'm going to tweet it out. Give me the parlay of the day.
All right, we're not messing around. I sent you one this weekend. I'm done touching big money lines. They're always losers, so we're going to short lines tonight, okay? We're doing Northwestern money line, okay?
Okay.
Purdue money line, and Kansas State plus 4.5.
Plus 4.5. Give me the payout on
Dang.
Plus 279.
I like it, and I will be throwing it tonight on one of my accounts. Guys, that's the Adam Hoff parlay of the day. Before we get out of here, I need the winner and a score prediction. Next week, you'll get a shout out because we got a fan who wants to know. So, guys, before we get out of here, let's do it. Why don't we start with Nate this time because you're the only one with your team's playing in the Super Bowl. So we'll start with you, and we'll work clockwise, all right?
All right. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it'll end up 35-31 Eagles.
He says hammer the over just like me. I'm not sure it's going to be that high, but it might. Colt, let's go to you.
All right, boys. I got 28-24 Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's going to be a shootout, and it's going to come down to the end, and Patrick Mahomes always prevails in that situation.
All righty, Toby.
We go 31-28 Chiefs. I'm thinking they maybe win on a last-second field goal possibly to break the hearts of Philly fans everywhere.
I could see it. And Hoff, why don't you give us your pick?
Schuller, you're saying it's going to be the greatest Super Bowl ever. I think it's a 1-point game. Give me the Chiefs 22-21. It lands right on the number.
So Hoff's got the under in this one according to his prediction right now. I do think it's going to be the greatest Super Bowl ever. Give me 31-20, 31-28 Chiefs. I don't think the field goes last second though. You want to know why? Dude, I've seen this. They're gonna stop them. The Chiefs the Eagles are gonna have a chance to drive down the field, and that Chiefs defense is gonna be special. That's what I think. Chris Jones might win MVP. People are sleeping on him.
All I hear is people praying on the Eagles' downfall. I can't wait to see you guys next week when the Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Oh, I'm gonna have a field day.
We'll see, man.
I'll be happier if I'm wrong, man.
I don't think I'd be angry. That's all I'm saying. I don't mind being wrong in this instance, but here's the thing. I'm not a psycho. I'm not going to pick against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and neither is the rest of the crew. It looks like, 4 of the 5 members in the Wild Snap think that the Chiefs are going to come out victorious. A lot of good talk today, guys. Any very last thoughts before we close out?
Shout out Eli Olsen, Connor McGraw, and Brett Silverman, and Ryan Gross, because they're all going to be crying Sunday night.
And Carl Gittens, too.
Carl Gittens.
Can we get one Gatorade color from everyone?
Carl's not a Chiefs fan.
Yo,
Carl's not a Chiefs fan.
Gatorade color, guys, real quick. I'm going orange.
Yellow.
Ooh. I got yellow as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go blue.
Give me purple.
Eagles drink yellow, and they're going to win. So.
Chiefs drink orange, I think, maybe. But, guys, the Wild Snap, we're all out of here. Thank you, everybody, for watching.